Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are in the midst of our small space series and we are finally at layouts, specifically layouts for your studio apartment. If your studio apartment is one large room with no distinct areas, maybe it's just one large room with no interior walls, no space to designate sleeping from living, you might be trying to figure out how to demarcate spaces and define zones so it makes sense for your needs. With a little space planning and the right decor, you really can maximize every single square inch of your studio space without any renovations or remodeling. Of course, unless your budget permits. If you're looking for creative furniture ideas to maximize your studio apartment layout, this video is for you. What you lack in space, you can make up for in style. I believe that no space is too small to make it fabulous. Clearly, that's why I created this small space series. My goal is to show you how easy it is to work with what you have and successfully design and decorate a small studio space. The possibilities really are endless, even with a shortage of square footage, as long as you have the determination to challenge yourself, despite some odd angles and awkward spaces. Since you can literally see every single corner of a studio apartment right when you walk in, the trick is to get the furniture just right. All of your furniture needs to serve double duty, it needs to have ample storage, and of course inspire you with colors, patterns, shape, and its beauty. Let's start with the first step in laying out your studio space, measuring the rooms. Length times width times height. But you're probably wondering how much square footage you should allot to each designated zone. How do you determine whether or not your sleeping area is larger than your living room? It's really simple. You have to determine your needs and consider your day-to-day life. Do you Netflix and chill on the daily? Do you entertain and constantly have friends over? Think about what would make you happier. More bed space or more seating for your guests? Of course, in every small space, something has to give. You have to be willing to sacrifice one design element in order to gain another. Let's dissect the 4 most common studio apartment layouts and share tips on how you can place your furniture to maximize every square inch. Let's start with this long and narrow studio space. Once you walk into the space, you're met with a single wall of kitchen space on the right. Now, your studio apartment can either have the kitchen on the right or the left, but essentially it's just one long, narrow space. Then you're met with an open square space, and you need to determine the living room, the sleeping area, and the dining area. Using this closet as your first tip, the bed should ideally be right next to the closet. Once you figure out what size bed you need for the space, and flank in your 2 nightstands, the space you have left over would be designated for the living area and the dining area. You could start by plopping in your dining space. A small square or rectangular table would work best against this solid wall. Try anchoring a sectional against the window wall and the adjacent wall. What this does is open the space so you're not walking into the back of a sectional. If you need to place a TV in the space, why not divide the sleeping area and the living area? You can specify a low media console and use this piece of furniture to help divide both rooms. Next, we have this square-shaped studio space that's defined by the kitchen on one side and the bathroom on the other. If you have a square space like this studio apartment layout, the bedroom would automatically go right next to the closet. You can place your bed, 2 nightstands, maybe even a desk at the foot of the bed, or some lounge chairs and a bench. You then need to figure out where the living room furniture goes. You could use this middle solid wall to place the TV console and flank a TV. Then the space you have left over could serve double duty. The sofa would ideally face the TV, and in this case, you could either source a sectional or a 3-seater with a small accent chair right next to it. The great thing about this space is that the TV acts as a focal point to tie in both different zones. If you place the television on a swivel mount, you can ideally watch the TV from both the bedroom and the living room. The area you have left over would be designated for a small dining table, enough for 2. When you walk into this small studio space, it's essentially one large square. The bathroom is on the left, the kitchen is on the right, and what you have left over is the remaining space you need to lay out. This studio apartment is similar to the last example, except that it's much smaller. You walk into a smaller kitchen, it's just one single row, then you're met with this large space. You need to be able to fit in a dining table, a living area, and a sleeping area. If you're solo, you would position the bed closest to the closet. If you're living alone, one single nightstand would do to free up more space. I love the idea of using furniture to help define zones. A long sofa would then be anchored on the wall opposite the bed area. Instead of a sofa, you can also choose to specify a loungy daybed. Think about your needs and the furniture solutions that would help resolve them. On the flip side, you could also place the television on the solid wall next to the kitchen. You can then source a petite sectional or a smaller love seat to place right in front of the television. This will help you break up the two areas, living versus bedroom, and allow you to maximize the view from the windows outside. This last studio space may be a tricky one to design. It has angled walls and a huge column in the middle of your living space. Keeping in theme with the previous layouts, your bed would be situated next to the closet. But what if you have a huge column in the middle of the space? Allow the architectural challenges to help define zones for you. In this case, you could back the end of a sofa or a sectional right in front of the column. You'll still be able to maximize the view from the windows outside and be able to install a TV media console right in front of the sectional. The space you have left over would be designated for the dining area. I would source a round table in this case so it's easier to maneuver around and there's no hard angles to bump up into. If you have a little bit of space, try anchoring an accent chair in front of the window to create a conversational seating group. I personally use AutoCAD to design and plan out all of my spaces. But there are a ton of free apps that you can find online to download and help plan your space. When planning a studio apartment layout, keep these key tips in mind. Choose decor items with meaning. My favorite pieces have sentimental value that remind me of my family and friends. Specify multifunctional furniture pieces that can serve double or triple duty. Check out my first video from this series, the top 10 items you need to furnish your small apartment, for more inspiration and tips. Make sure the vibe is a reflection of your aesthetic. Use the colors you love, the patterns you're wowed by, and keep the aesthetic in line with your vibe. Don't be afraid of bold colors and fun patterns. Remember that plants make every space come alive. Get creative with how you hang and display potted plants. I love this idea of using a clothing rack to hang heavy pots. No holes in the walls, and all your plants are grouped together in varying heights. This is brilliant. Think storage. Every furniture piece should have an ample amount of storage. Use furniture to help divide the space. says the TV has to go against a solid wall? Try using a low console with the TV placed above it as a natural partition to divide the sleeping area from the living area. Instead of furniture, use artwork on the walls to help define zones. Maybe a wall full of wallpaper that backs your bed. Maybe a cool gallery wall to help anchor a seating group. Take some cues from my video on how to design a focal wall and get creative with artwork. Does your studio apartment have low ceilings? Look for furnishings that don't take up a lot of vertical space. Leggy furniture and furniture that's lower to the ground helps the ceiling appear higher. At the end of the day, this is your space, whether you're living alone or with others. Pay special attention to all of the pieces that you bring into the home and how much real estate they take up. If you want your studio to feel more spacious, limit the amount of furniture pieces that actually make their way into your home. Make sure these items are functional, beautiful, and inspires you daily. Don't be afraid to let go of pieces that are no longer serving you well. Remember my motto: make it minimal but meaningful. Having less space forces you to get much more creative with how you organize and express yourself and your needs. Dive in, take notes, and let me know in the comments below how this video has helped you rethink your studio space. If you like this type of content and you're loving the small space series so far, please give this video a thumbs up. Share this series with anyone you know who needs help with their small space, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We have a few episodes left in this small space series and we are still counting down. I am so excited to share the last few videos of the small space series with you, so don't forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified of new videos that we drop every Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.